Hello everyone and welcome back to StrataGames. I'm Matthew, and today on Simple Strategy we have the perfect little game to kill some time during this quarantine. This is Kingdomino by Bruno Cathala. This is a game for 2 to 4 players, but I'll say that this game plays best if you have 4 in my opinion, though these tips will work for any number of players. Also, in my playgroups, we use the extra rules on page 4 of the rulebook. These are the Dynasty, Middle Kingdom, and Harmony rules. I find that they tend to spice up the game a little bit more. And the Dynasty rule, where you play 3 games right in a row, helps reduce the chance that someone gets super lucky or unlucky in one game, and it makes the game more fair overall. One of the most important things in this game is balancing taking the best tiles for your kingdom versus making sure that you aren't going last every time. Sure, getting a couple of points this round is great, but you have to make sure that you aren't leaving a lot of points on the table next round by taking the last tile available. If you notice, the game is actually designed so that the tiles that are worth more points tend to be at the bottom of the pick order. This means you'll often have to wait getting more points versus going first or second. Now, going first is quite good, but I wouldn't sacrifice more than 2 or 3 points for it. Unless you're looking for a piece that will get you a ton of points, don't get married to the idea of going first all the time. You'll also need to keep track of how you're placing your tiles in your kingdom. If you use up all 4 spaces next to your starting tile, you may be unable to place some tiles later when they don't match up with your existing tiles. I always try to keep at least 1 spot next to my starting tile open until the very end, even if it loses me a couple of points. And this becomes even more important if you're using the optional Harmony rule. For example, here we can see that I either need to block off my remaining open space and get an extra point, or possibly lose out on some points down the road if the next time I'm stuck with this. Another thing I do is look at the back of the rulebook. It tells you exactly how many of each type of landscape there is total, which means that you can figure out how many there are left in the deck by subtracting the ones that the players already have out. Something you could tell almost immediately from looking at this is that the mountains aren't nearly as good as sheep fields. They both have the exact same amount of crowns available, but mountains have 4 fewer total squares to benefit from. And don't forget that all the other players are looking at the same options that you are. If nothing looks too appealing to you, it might be better to go pick a tile that will be good for someone else instead and deny them those extra points. Now, you don't always want to do this. Increasing your own points is better than denying points from other players, but if the available options are looking really bad for you, this is not a bad way to go. This is a fun game, but it's not a super high complexity game, so that's all the tips I have for you today. You've just leveled up. Thanks so much for watching Simple Strategy. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know. And if there's a game that you'd like to see some tips on in the future, make sure to leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.